What is light shadow? Every character in the game is either light or shadow, like Aldo is light, and Finn is shadow for example. Main purpose for light shadow: for reward slots in daily and other dungeons and for stellar board nodes. You need 120 L esteem total for very hard red key and other dungeons for 3 reward slots. 360 L esteem total for double green key and other dungeons for 5 reward slots. It only costs the highest light or shadow total, not the total of both. Like here, only the light total is counted because it's higher. How to gain light shadow for free characters? Free characters can gain light shadow from doing specific asks for them or Todo Theater Wall. They must be in the team when doing the AD, dead or alive doesn't matter. The chances to gain light shadow per run ranges from 10% to 25%. It will usually take 6 to 8 months to fully max one free character's light shadow. Recommended free characters to grind for. Game really wants you to get Aldo light. He gains the most out of all characters. Aldo normal star DPS goes up to 10 times stronger at 255 light. Fina is the second character after Aldo that gains a lot from shadow. Also helps that her another dungeon, Beast King Castle, is the fastest AD to do in game. Strawboy light grinding. The fastest to grind light for free characters available main story chapter 58. Just level him to level 80 to rebirth for 1 light, up to 8 light per day. Warning, he is pretty useless besides being a light battery. How to gain light shadow for Gacha characters. You can get more light shadow by pulling the dupes. There is no way to daily grind light shadow for Gacha characters. Monthly trials light shadow gain. You can get 5 light shadow per month by doing the monthly trials. Finish the AD required to get the light shadow, can use on any character. This is the only way for free to play to grind light shadow to use on Gacha characters. Light shadow enhancement items. You can use these to increase Gacha character light shadow. You can get them from quests, chests and such at a limited amount. Possible to get light shadow items from nearby the batch trading bots. But the rates of actually getting light shadow items is abysmal. There's also a very abysmal chance to reach PCD, Phantom Crystal Dimension Tap World and get them. Since we can't really farm these, don't use them on farmable free characters. I suggest you use them on Gacha you want to use in daily ads. Character light shadow milestones. There are obvious LS milestones for all characters. At 80 light shadow you can get an extra skill slot, usefulness varies depending on character. At 120 light shadow gets an extra badge slot, useful for both offense and defense. At 200 light shadow gets an extra Graster slot, allows for great increase in damage. Light shadow stat board DPS increases. First big increase at 120, allowing 1 extra badge. Extra 50 stat badge gives around 20% to 25% damage. At 200 light shadow, the other big bonus, extra Graster slot. Extra Graster is around 40% plus increase. At 255, just plain 10 stats for everyone. But some charts gain 30 power or intelligence at 255, so those will gain much more. In general, a character gains double damage by 200 light shadow. Increases varies based on character bonus board, can be higher. What does light shadow actually do for battles? Increase stats at certain points depending on character. The important stats are usually just power or intelligence. Characters do not get skill damage increases from LOS, except Aldo, Fireman and Seal Jack. Light and Shadow for Stellar Awakening board. You need a minimum of 15 Light Shadow for essential SA board nodes. Note to always go for passives instead of levels if you only have 15 Light Shadow. You get more points at 30, 50 and 80 Light Shadow. For a DPS, most of the increases will be gotten by 30 Light. At 50 Light Shadow, you get access to more set nodes. At 80 Light Shadow, it's mainly just unlocking HP MP nodes. MP nodes can be useful for focus buffs, but not as direct as stats like power or intelligence. Light Shadow Stellar DPS increases. Assuming 15 Light Shadow SA is the base, at 30 Light Shadow SA, you get around 12 to 20% DPS increase. Level 81 to 100 takes 20 times the EXP of level 1 to 80. At 50 Light Shadow will be roughly 5% more. At 80 Light Shadow is mostly HP MP, so little increase. With focus buffs, the extra MP adds around 25% damage at level 100. In summary, a DPS chart gains around 12% to 40% depending on Light Shadow. Higher percent being from focus buff, which will not always be there. With kits and nodes being different, actual percent will differ. So this is just a rough estimation ballpark figure. Supports gain little after base 15 Light Shadow in general. Actual damage increases due to Softcap. Note that Softcap is at 2.5 billion. Anything beyond that is reduced by over 90% until you hit around 5 billion. Any good team should be able to Softcap at base Light Shadow. So Light Shadow DPS increase is hard to note in a good team. Unless you hit with very low percent moves for multi-hits. High Light Shadow DPS are more notable outside boss fights, where you want to use little moves to clear fast. In conclusion, Light Shadow is mainly for getting full daily and other dungeon rewards. You can grind free characters Light Shadow but not Gacha. You want a minimum of 15 Light Shadow for Stellar Awakening characters to work. Getting high Light Shadow on a DPS character helps but not a must. Unless you will get Light Shadow only for daily AD. Or for your waifus or house bandos.